I'm Maddie. We're going to do the deadlift today. So first of all, we want to remember 3 things when we're doing the deadlift. The deadlift is an important movement because when you're bending over and reaching and grabbing stuff off the ground, you want to make sure that your back and your body is able to do that in the safest position possible. So with the deadlift, we want to remember the 3 things. Minimal knee flexion. So we want our knees to bend just a little bit, but we don't want them bending as much as, say, we were doing a squat. The next one, we want a lot of horizontal hip movement. So that means we should try to get our butts as far back as possible, just so that you see how far my hips are going back. That's what we want. And the third thing, we want a nice neutral back. So I like to use a dowel just to get into position. So you're going to hold the dowel up against your back, and you want 3 points of contact on the dowel. So you want the dowel to touch your head, the middle of your back right here, and then your hips. So as you're leaning over, hips coming back, knees not really bending much, I'm keeping the 3 points of contact on the dowel. And as we come back, keeping that same nice neutral spine position. All right, so now we'll move on to doing it with some weight on the barbell, trying to keep those 3 things in mind. So when we walk up to the barbell, we want the barbell to sit just over our shoelaces, and as we come back, we'll bend our knees just a little bit, soften them, and then we're going to bring our hips back, 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 until we kind of start to feel that stretch through here. And we feel like we're still maintaining that nice neutral spine. And the feet shoulder width, hip width apart. And then our arms are going to come down in front of us until we touch the bar. See, I can't get all the way down just moving my hips without losing that back. So I bend my knees just a little bit at the end, just so I can reach the bar. My hands are going to be about thumb length away from my legs. I'm going to grab it. I'm going to want to keep chest big, shoulders back. I'm going to just take the slack off the bar. Make sure you hear that click. And then I'm going to drive my hips forward until they're nice and underneath me. I'm in that nice upright position. And I'm just going to slowly bring my hips back, making sure the bar is close to my legs. So we want to make sure the bar is close on the way up and down. So I'll do it one more time. Soften knees, butt back, nice big chest, shoulders back. Take the slack, come up. See, it's nice brushing my thighs. And same thing, hips back. Make sure that you don't bring your heels up like that. You want your weight right on the middle of your feet. Bring them down, just like that. All right, so now I'm gonna get John to do it. I'm gonna help him. How do you feel about that, John?
I feel pretty good about that. That was a really good demonstration.
Awesome. So, get you to come up to the barbell, just as I did.
Sure.
Feet up. Do you want to try with the dowel first?
Sure, let's go with the dowel first.
Sure. So, just maintain, keep your hand against your back. You see he has nice contact here and here. Have a little bit more contact with the set, but we want at least 2 points of contact. So that's really good right now. So we want to maintain that all the way down. So you want to do it, yep, hips back. Oh. There you go. Hips back. Oh. Bring your weight a little bit more forward. Yeah, there you go. Nice. And then nice little knee flexion, not much. Lots of horizontal hip movement and nice back. So we'll come back up, driving your hips forward. Yeah, nice. All right, so now we're going to do that just like that with the barbell. So walk up. And it's just outside. Take the slack of the bar. Yeah, nice. Try it out one more time. Awesome. So when he's coming down, he's kind of letting go of his nice neutral back. So he wants to try to maintain that nice spine the whole way down. He's kind of getting curved at the top. So just try to keep that in mind as you come up. Nice. Maintain. Yeah, there you go. That's better. All right. How does that feel?
Feels pretty good. I really feel like I'm getting a little bit forward in front. Mm-hmm. Is that pretty normal?
Yeah, you want the weight to kind of be in the middle of your feet,
okay.
And then as you come up, kind of drive through your heels.
Okay.
You don't want to be coming up so your heels come up, or so far back that your toes come up. Just right, nice in the middle. Let's do one more time. Jump. Nice. So I'm going to stop you here. So he's kind of in almost like a squat position. So he has a lot of knee flexion, not a whole lot of horizontal movement. So instead, you want to tip forward a little bit and bring your hips back. So he's in that nice shoulders over hips, hips over knees position. Now, go again. Yeah, there you go.
Watching the video of John's deadlift, I noticed one other cue that I would give him. As he's pulling up the bar is pretty far away from his body, so I would remind him to try to almost have that feel of dragging the barbell up his thighs and trying to keep it as close to the body as possible so that the weight isn't too far away and he'll tilt forward.
Alright. So some common issues with the deadlift. A lot of people, when they go into the deadlift, they come down and they kind of lose their back right at the end. So they're almost pulling just with like a completely rounded back, even from the start. So to fix that, we kind of want a little bit more like knee flexion. So we get into that nice deadlift position, and then we just bend our knees just a little bit so that we're further down and we can actually grab the bar. Another one is when you're down here and they lift up, the bar is like way out in front of them instead of nice close. So a cue for that is just to remind them to almost feel like they're dragging the bar up their calves and then up their thighs. So if you have that kind of memory of what you're supposed to feel, then you will be more likely to remember it. Another one, sometimes people's knees come in, just want to remind them, make sure, push your knees out, make sure that they don't start falling in. Another one, when somebody pulls up, right at the top, they kind of shrug up at the top. You want to remind them to keep their chest nice and big and shoulders back, and not just use their shoulders to lift. Because then it becomes more of an upper body movement rather than your upper body's ready and then your legs do all the work. Yeah, I think that's the majority of like major issues people have. Another thing we can go over is sumo deadlift. So it's very, very similar. The only difference, or the main difference, is that your legs are further out. So they're, with normal deadlift, they're about shoulder width, hip width. With sumo, you want them to be a few steps out, more so almost like elbow width. If you bring your arms out, it's almost like elbow width. So come up, the bar's still over your shoelaces. With this one, your hands are gonna come down in between your legs, and you're gonna grip. And remember, almost like you're pushing your knees out, and you're gonna pull from the inside. Still trying to keep that bar really close to you, and kind of leant over versus upright like a squat. This one, you will be a little bit more upright just because of the position of your legs, but you still don't want to be like completely upright and hips or knees doing most of the bending. So I'll just do one more. And then I'll get John to come do some.
Okay.
All right, so find that nice hip width for you, or feet width. Nice, that looks good. And then you're gonna come up, right up to the bar. You're gonna keep hands down in between your legs this time. So bend your knees and then bring your butt back and grab onto the bar. And then we're gonna pull up, driving with our hips, just like the last one. Yeah, nice. So he's really down into a squat position. So I would, again, remind him, hips up a little bit, so that he has that nice shoulders over hip, hip over knee, and leant over the bar. And now he's gonna go from there. Yeah, And as you can hear, he has that nice sound of the bar coming right up his legs, keeping the bar real nice and close to him. And making sure that he moves the bar doesn't move him. Nice back position too. He's a little bit in that squat position again. There you go. Taking the slack off the bar, driving up. Yeah, awesome. How does that feel, John?
Oh, it feels really good. Thank you, Maddie.
Awesome.
For John, who's a beginner, I would say, since he is a new person in the gym, for his fit principle or prescription, I would say he should do some deadlifts 2 to 3 times a week. For intensity, I would start maybe for weight, maybe start at 65 pounds since he's a beginner. If that feels too easy, then he could bump it up to like 85 pounds. We kind of want to find a weight where he feels that he could do 1 to 2 reps after his set and feel comfortable at that weight. For time, I would say 3 sets of 8 to 10 reps. And for type, I would say maybe some barbell deadlifts. He could do some kettlebell deadlifts too, or he could do a resistance band hip hinge where he pulls up and uses his hips and maintains his neutral back. Yeah, I think that would be a good prescription for John as a new beginner to deadlift.